Welcome to the AI Automations for Business podcast. We're your hosts, Katie and Noel, and we'll be discussing how you can use AI for your business along with the latest news, updates, and automations to help you stay ahead of the curve, allowing you to grow and scale your business more efficiently. Please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, welcome back to another episode. If we haven't met yet, hello, I'm Katie, and as always, I've got Noel here with me. Hey, Noel.
Hello.
So last week you were bananas.
Very much so.
Because we talked all about nano banana. And this week, I feel like we're vibing.
Very much so, yes, definitely.
Love it, because we're talking about vibe coded.
Yes, because if the word for 2025 wasn't agent, then vibe is the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've covered both of those quite well on this podcast.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So as always, with anything we talk about, we try and break it down for you step by step. So even if you are brand new to AI, automations, and something like this, vibe coding, we try and explain it as if you were a beginner, and we share lots of juicy facts and tips within this podcast as well. So we really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Okay, Noel. So let's start from the very beginning. What is vibe coding?
Well, I guess what it really is a way that you can ask AI to go off and build you something, whether it be a software application, that could be like a web app, could be an iOS app, or Android, whatever your persuasion is, or, a website. So it could be like HTML, CSS website, or anything like that. And then just using plain language and then saying to AI, right, go off and build this for me. Because for me, I'm not a coder. I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I used to build your websites years ago with HTML and CSS.
And you were really good at it.
I did all right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there were some choice words spoken at times from when you were trying to do it, not from me or at me, but just Noel sat at his laptop.
Yeah, lots of swearing, yeah, unfortunately. It's very blue. Yeah, but it's always those things where you just want one thing just to move slightly to the left.
Yeah.
And then you do the code, you update it, refresh, and it doesn't move. It might go the other way.
Yeah.
But at least with vibe coding, if we see that, we can ask the AI, we can describe it to AI and say, well, look, this bit is in the wrong place. It should be over here, or it's the wrong color. Update it to this, and it'll just go off and do it for you. So yeah, that's all vibing, which is nice and easy.
Yeah. Okay. So it's using AI to create code and then using it on websites or apps. Software, things like that.
Yes. Yeah. Anything that you could think uses software today, you could vibe code it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we briefly mentioned, you can create websites, you can create apps, but let's go into that a bit further. So say you want to create an application for something. So I feel like let's create a made-up scenario.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I'll let you pick, Noel.
Oh no.
What are you going to create an app for?
Let's do like an AI agent which can create social media content for us and then show us that content once it's done.
Love it. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. So let's do like a step-by-step then of how we would go about creating this app for us.
So I guess the first step is kind of like understanding what tools you're going to use to build this. So there's many different ways of doing it. There's lots of applications available that allow you to do it. So I would say like the main one is probably Lovable. That's kind of really easy to do. You just describe whatever you want and it goes off and does it for you, which is really handy. It has some really good UI libraries in there as well, so it doesn't look rubbish once it's done. So that's kind of handy.
I mean, that's what we're aiming for.
Exactly, yeah. That is kind of a paid subscription. I think there's a free option in there as well. I guess Bolt is another one that's very similar to Lovable. And yeah, they're they're really handy. What I would say with things like Lovable is you can connect into an app called Superbase. So that's basically a database, and it also does like user authentication. So it kind of ticks some of those boxes for security and letting the right people in and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I really like that. If you're doing something really simple and basic, then you could use ChatGPT, you could use Claude, Gemini, or any of those sort of LLM chat models, and they can go off and create that code for you. I would say the only issue you might have there is complexity. So with like apps that are built in Lovable, like there's thousands of lines of code, there's loads and loads of different files within the directory, and you're not going to be able to really do that in ChatGPT.
Okay.
You might be able to do it in Codex in ChatGPT, but yeah, it's maybe.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the first step.
The easiest version probably would to use something like Lovable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's also actually there is also another option. So you can also have like a coding IDE, they call it. So you've got like Cursor. There's also Windsurf. So those are kind of the apps where normal coders would go in and then write their stuff, and then they can test it and run it in there. And you can link AI into there, so they've got their own AI agents and things like that. So it can go off, build the code, look at your entire code base, and then make sure everything makes sense. So that's kind of another route for vibe coding.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Right. So let's say that we're going to use Lovable for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tick. We know what we're using. Next step.
So the next step would be to have a think about what you want to build, because what I find with vibe coding is it's very much the same as like normal prompt engineering. If you put rubbish in, you're just going to get rubbish out the other end.
Okay. So the prompt's really important here.
Very, very important. Yes. It can do a decent job with a rubbish prompt. It will do its best to figure things out, but you kind of want to have that vision in your mind, maybe draw it out on a bit of paper, and then say, right, this is what I want it to look like, and then let it go loose and go off and code the app. One thing with Lovable is if you did go down the analog route and you did scribble it down on a bit of paper, you can take a picture of that and then upload that into the context. So, well, look, this is the layout of the app, and it can look at the image and then go off and do it.
That's really cool.
I think if you're a bit more advanced, and let's say you're using something like Figma, where you can design all of the UI and things like that for your page, you can also import that, and then it would then code that for you as well. So that can all be done at the first prompt level. So yeah, the more you give it, the better your results.
So as much detail as possible.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, as soon as you hit enter, off it will go and start building your app for you. It doesn't really need a lot of prompting after that. It will take probably a couple of minutes to go off and actually create the first build. If it hits any errors, it automatically figures that out and then reruns it all for you and stuff, so you don't have to be some sort of technical wizard to understand what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, but then once it's done, you then see what it looks like. It will show you the page. You can also view it in a different browser tab, whatever, if that's what you fancy. So yeah, it's all there ready to go, and then you can then just sit back and have a chat with it, and then say, well, I'm not quite sure, maybe I want some rounded edges on this, maybe I want this function adding, and that's where the vibe part comes in. You can just have a two-way conversation with it to then create the app that you really want. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome how it works.
Okay. So what else can you do? So like we've obviously talked about an app, but for example, like we've also said maybe it could create a website. So can we maybe like talk through of how that would look and the steps for that as well?
Yeah, I guess if you want to do like a website and an app all together, so you're building something from scratch, you could do that straight away. So you could be like, well, build the landing page for this application and then have like access to login forms and things like that. And then it would then go off and then build the dashboard or whatever the app is in the background. So I would say kind of break it down. So don't tell it to go off and build all of that in one go, because it's just not going to. It'll have a good go, but it won't probably look very good or work very well. So if you've got to kind of also break that bit down, so say, well, let's start off with the landing page. Let's then look at the authentication, and then let's look at the app. Kind of break it into those chunks. But if you're just going off and you want to build an app just to test it, see how it works, or maybe show it as a demonstration or something to use yourself within your business, then yeah, just go straight in and build that application straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I guess the other thing is we can also link this into automations as well. So also include that information as well. So for our idea where we wanted to connect it into like an agent, I guess the easiest way to do that would be to send like a webhook to make.com and then use their AI agent function. So as you're chatting to it, it will then trigger that automation in Make, get the answer, and then send it straight back, and that sort of stuff. So that's really, really helpful.
Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah. But you could have buttons on there to say, right, now I'm happy with our post that we've created. You could have a button on there to say, post it on LinkedIn. And then that could then trigger another automation in Make, which then, publishes that on LinkedIn for you. So you don't have to worry about that either. Or publishes it to your scheduling platform or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah. Wherever you want it to
go. Exactly, yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. All things I couldn't have done.
So another thing that I wanted to discuss, Phil, was, like a lot of people use booking apps. So whether they're like a nail tech or maybe it's for a gym, a fitness studio, Pilates, and they use, maybe it's Booksy, or many of the similar ones. Would this be able to replace something like that?
It could do. Yeah. I think you could easily create that sort of system. Whether or not it's secure enough, I don't know. Things like that. But the theory is, yes, you could definitely do that. But providing you understand how those systems work, the booking process step by step sort of thing. So you've got your calendar. What information am I going to need to put in there? And then how all that data links together to get to the point of sending them an email with a link or sending them a text message, confirming that booking. As long as you understand that flow, then you could quite easily build that within Lovable.
You mentioned about the security part. So what is the security risks at the current moment? So obviously we're recording this in September 2025. As all things with AI and automations, things move at rapid speed. But right now, what are those security risks or, the vulnerabilities?
So for those that aren't coders like myself, the risk is that I don't understand what it's going off and what it's produced. I don't understand that code. So there could be vulnerabilities in the code. It could work normally, it could be fine, but if there's an exploit in there that somebody can get in and then start getting people's information, I wouldn't know where to find that. There's highly paid professionals out there in the world that do that for people, and there's obviously a very good need for having that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like best practices, and just if you know somebody that knows this sort of stuff, that, a software engineer, they would easily be able to have a look and figure things out. But, it's just being very careful, I would say. So you could have so let's go back to Lovable. You connect it into Superbase, and then that does all the user authentication for you and that sort of security side. So that's good. That works. But if you tried to then do it outside of Lovable, it can be done with. It could also have bits that aren't quite right. Whereas with Lovable, it's already pre-trained, so all you got to do is a few button clicks and it just does it. So if you do it yourself, potentially you could be in a bit of bother.
Okay.
But if you're creating something internally, so if I created us an app that did, that sort of thing, and we just ran it on our laptops, then it's not safe. Really, Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you start sharing it and I guess having people's bank details or credit card details on it. It's at the moment it's not secure enough.
It
Right
can
now.
be, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be a little worried just
Okay.
because I don't know what's going on. And sometimes what I find with vibe coding is, as you're asking it to edit things, let's say you're saying, oh, could we change like the look and feel of the sign up form? So it might go in there and do that, but then at the same time, some of the AI models, they get a bit distracted and they're like, "Oh, well, that bit doesn't quite look right," and then it will start off and then start editing other bits, which could be a part of your authentication process, and then that could break things or leave things open for vulnerabilities and stuff. But
It goes off on a side quest.
it does a little bit, yeah,
Oh,
sometimes,
I
yeah.
love that.
Sometimes I've asked things to do, so it's on this page on this file, and it goes, yeah, that's great, and then it then wanders off and then goes, well, I looked at this file as well, which kind of interlinks, and there was a few other bits in there I didn't quite like the look of, even though I've already created it. It's like, oh, no, that worked, and then
Yeah, pay
sometimes it breaks.
attention.
I know,
No
yeah,
side quest.
yeah, exactly, yeah. It's very
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially if it breaks it, and then you hit refresh on your browser, and then there's just nothing there. It's like go back to my sweary days on coding HTML.
Brilliant. Well, I feel like that's given us a really great overview of what vibe coding is and like what we can do with it. And I think sometimes like with these things, like it's just good to go and have like a play around with them before like, you want to go ahead and create what you do want to go and create.
Yes. Yeah, it's ideal for this. Yeah, you can sit down and build all sorts of apps within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to stay focused.
You go off on your own side quest.
I do a bit, yeah.
For those that are listening and would love some more support and guidance on this, then we are currently putting a training together on vibe coding within our new membership, which is called AI Business Club. We'll go through all of this in detail with videos on how you can actually do vibe coding yourself. We're going to have like a beginner's tutorial and one that's a bit more advanced as well. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just a beginner, I've never done anything like this, don't worry, we've got you. The same as like maybe you've had a play around with it, but you just need a bit more information or tutorials, then again, we've got you. So there'll be those 2 videos going up very soon in our membership. We'll leave the links for it below, but thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast episode, and we will catch you next time for another episode very soon.